Okay, this is narration take 3. Due to their masses of money and manpower, Hollywood sets the bar for high production value. The amount of money that goes into making just one film is huge. Let's start by breaking down some parts of a film budget. First of all, actors. If you want an A-grade actor, you'll be looking at spending anywhere from $5 million plus per actor. Set design will easily set you back over $10 million. Props will set you back roughly $100,000. Color grading adds up to thousands. Lighting is about $1 million plus. Visual effects are from about $500,000. Titles, like the ones you're seeing now, are around $100,000 and upwards. And this is just naming a few expenses. Let's not forget about paying your crew.
It's not a cheap industry. It's extremely expensive.
It's expensive to shoot films, it's expensive to finish films, and we definitely had a film that was worth a couple of $100,000.
When you do reach productions, whether if it's color grading or sound or getting people involved, we're talking money and lots of it. So I've literally saved millions basically by doing most of them myself.
Now let's see how many people work on a standard Hollywood film. That was about 15,000 people. Now, here's how many people work on an independent film.
Okay, so I was one of the writers, director,
A cinematographer,
caterer,
director,
camera assistant,
the writer,
producer,
an editor,
set designer,
the producer,
production designer,
the first AD,
runner, lighting assistant,
set designer, production designer, color grader, bit of sound.
pretty much everything.
It is extremely exhausting, a lot of time. I mean, I've basically done it with a full-time day job. So we're talking long hours.
Look, as a passionate filmmaker, yes, it's always worth it. I mean, it does take its toll on health and family and friends, but
It's totally achievable, and you can achieve that look. You've just got to be creative.
that's what we achieved, making the perception bigger than what it is.
It's all about cheating, independent filmmaking. So we don't have millions of dollars to, hire obviously professional people, but we just need the creativity. You can get away with it, you can cheat things, and that's what it is. In the filmmaking, cheating around things, you can get away with it. You can still achieve that high-end quality, basically.
Well, the first thing is you've got to make sure location can suit exactly what you need. So you can fill that space with as many things as you can to make it look big budget.
So it's extremely important that you find the right props. I mean, I've personally done, I've gone through garage sales. I've done some Kmart shopping, late night shopping, I should say. But I've also gone through garbage, literally, the garbage they leave on the streets. And I've actually gone through them and I may have found an old chair or an old table. And for me, that's been gold. That's been a prop, and I've actually used it. Color grading basically gives your home video, I should say, that home looking video, that professional Hollywood, high budget feel.
I think colour grading is probably the most important element. I guess the last important element in a film. Colour grading can really give that look that you really want. So it's going to set your mood, it's going to set your tone, and hiding imperfections, that's key as well. So if you've got things that you want to hide that wasn't supposed to be in the shot, I guess this is where colour grading comes in.
So colour grading is not just giving a cinematic look, but it's actually telling a story.
We started colour grading ourselves and we found that it was becoming quite an intricate and I guess a long process, because we had a lot of issues with our film. So we approached some professionals and we found, as low budget filmmakers, it was going to be something that we couldn't afford. We were talking 50 grand to $100,000. We ended up, luckily enough, negotiating with a company who were able to do it for a fraction of the costs.
I actually used DaVinci Resolve, DaVinci Resolve 9, which is affordable. but it's extremely powerful. I also advise the new filmmakers not to rely on a lot of people too much. They've got to have some sort of like DIY, do-it-yourself policy.
Some people might want to just give up on their film because they've had technical issues, or they feel like they can't afford to do something, but sometimes it's just best to approach professionals.
But as a filmmaker, you've got to break rules. Funny story, because we needed an Ambo to show up on this scene. It was a short film, but we couldn't afford it. So we actually called an Ambo, pretending again. We pretended one of the crew members were having some chest pains, and they actually showed up, so we shot it from across the road. You've got to break some rules in order to get where you need to be.
I think we broke every rule in the book. In my feature, we had to actually crash a car. We didn't have any permission to do it, except from the person who owned the location. It was a very minor little thing, but we made it look like it was a bigger crash than what it was.
With a bit of lighting, you can cheat things.
Lighting is probably one of the most important things in a film, because making sure that you can hide things that you can't see, that's your key. So making sure that you can't see that it actually wasn't on a road or a smaller set than what you think. It made it look like it was a long ramp or something like that. So placing the lights in strategic areas made sure that it was I guess more realistic than what it really was, because looking at the behind the scenes footage, I guess you would really see how little it was compared to what it ended up looking like.
There's so many ways you can approach people. I'm talking extras, actors. There's so many great different online websites today. If you can't afford an agent, then you can just look online, but you need to go through an audition process. I think it's extremely important that you do audition instead of just offering the part.
Okay, so visual effects. That was another element I think for us was really important on a micro to low budget film, and making sure we had an explosion was something that we knew that would increase the value by a lot. We came up with a few good little explosions, but they weren't, I guess, at the level that we wanted. So we approached a few people. Of course, it came back with thousands of dollars, and we said, okay, we can't do that. Then we found this one visual effects artist. Once again, negotiated a really good price with him. He did it for the fraction of the cost. He could see how passionate filmmakers we were, and he loved the story that we had. He loved the fact that we were trying to do something low budget, but make it look big.
Anyone can make a film today. I mean, back 30 years ago, different story. We didn't have the high digital equipment and cameras and editing softwares, etc. But today, anyone can afford to make a film. It all comes to getting up and actually doing it.
I think there's no excuses for not making a film. If you say that money is sort of deterring you from making it, just find a way to do it. Shoot a film in your house, use the resources in the house, borrow things from people and just go out there and do it. You've got to cheat Hollywood, you've got to tell a story, and you can do it in any way.
I find that inspiration is extremely important to follow your passion. I mean, you've got to have some sort of, passion, and in order to achieve that passion, you need inspiration. So when you wake up, whatever gives you inspiration, do it. As I said, you've got to break rules. You've got to be persistent in order to make this. But most of all, you can't do it for fame and fortune. If you're doing it for fame and fortune, it's not going to happen. Forget about it. So you need to stay focused, absolute focus on the making of the film.
Because every single element in a film is going to give your film, so much more.